And we're live. Welcome to Multiple Natures Live, where this is a place that you can find out about how to identify your potential and align it with what you do so you can thrive. And in today's episode, I have something very special for you. It's a first time for me to have somebody on the show who's not a human being. And in fact, I'm going to be interviewing an artificially intelligent bot called ChatGPT. Now, you might have heard about this before. It's starting to trend right now, and it's tearing up the internet quite a bit. I've seen it a lot on news channels. What is this thing that's called ChatGPT? But more importantly, rather than just freaking out on a new piece of technology, what are its implications for the future of personal development and for work? Um, I have been spending time with ChatGPT for the last couple of days, just putting it to the test and asking it a bunch of questions um, about careers, about philosophy, about poetry. I've been asking it to write poems and songs, and the kind of things that it's spitting back to me are just unbelievable. It's very evident to me that the world, just the way that the world really changed when the internet came about, I feel as though the world is about to change again with what AI can be. And now the jury is out. Is it going to be something that's going to mess up the future, that's going to create joblessness, that's going to put people out of work? Are we going to have nothing to do because AI is running the world? Is AI going to take over? These are all questions that come up in the process. And spoiler alert, my conclusion my conclusion is that the future is actually going to be the future, it's going to be the same as there is now. There's always dark and there's always light. Depends on how you see the current moment and how you and how I come to that moment and what I bring to it. And if I bring technologies in a way that is valuable, that is useful, I can use technology to my advantage as a tool for my personal growth, as a tool for making my life more enjoyable, more productive, and efficient. And that's how I choose to do it. And the makers of ChatGPT, OpenAI, have certainly put in a lot of thought into creating a technology, or I can say protecting or putting some boundaries on it so that it's not susceptible to being derailed or used for, let's call them evil purposes for now. Years ago, there was an experiment that was tried by the Facebook company. That's what it was then, before it was Meta, where they put some artificially intelligent bot online, and within no time, it was starting to go off the rails in terms of uh, be, spewing racist ideas and whatnot, and it was promptly pulled down. And so the makers of OpenAI, of ChatGPT, have spent a lot of time. It's not connected directly to the internet, so you can't use it to query information that's out there. And we don't know how it gets its information, but obviously it's been on the internet, it crawls, and it's got information in there. The last update they said was in 2021, so I don't know what it's been doing since then, but it's cataloged information, it's stored information, and let's get to it. What is it that it can do, and why am I so excited about it? I think you might be sensing that there, I'm just really turned on by this, and I'll show you some of the things that I've been doing. I've been messing around the last couple of days, and here's what I can show you. So this is the interface for ChatGPT, and you can find this at openai.com. You can go there yourself, and you can make an account. And essentially, what I can do is I can ask it things. I can say, welcome to the show, because you're my guest, ChatGPT, and ChatGPT says, "Hello, thank you for having me. Is there anything specific you would like to know or to discuss today?" And I'm going to give it some specific parameters because it doesn't know how long of an answer you want sometimes, and so sometimes I'll tell what I want from it. So tell me about the future of careers and AI, how things will change. And I'm going to ask it to, in, let's say, 50 words, so it's not too long. And it says, it's difficult to predict exactly how careers into AI will change in the future, but it's likely that AI will play a larger role in many industries. Some jobs may be automated or replaced by AI, while others will be created to develop and manage AI systems. It will be important for people to stay up to date with developments in AI and to acquire the skills needed to work with these systems. Okay, so this is giving me information that probably, you could Google otherwise, but, you would, if you were to type that in there, you would get a bunch of web pages that came back, and then you would go in and ask it more questions, or you would, find pages that you would like to get information about, and you would search around. But here, it's going and it's bringing the answer back to me in a way that's very specific. Now, if I wanted, I could find out. Let's just say, like, I'm in the area of life coaching and personal development. So I might say, tell me the above, but with respect to the field of life, or let's say career coaching and personal development. Let's see what it says. All right, so now it's flipped it around a little bit, and it says, in the field of career coaching and personal development, it's possible that AI may be used to help individuals identify and pursue career opportunities or to provide personalized development recommendations. At the same time, there might also be a need for human career coaches to work alongside AI, and to help individuals navigate the complexities of the job market and personal growth. You're going to need people in here. And this is why I was saying before that I think the future is bright. I remember a long time ago, when computers first came on the scene in education, the 80s and the 90s, and there was this question, are computers going to replace teachers? And I remember this one quote that said, any teacher who can be replaced by a computer should be replaced by a computer. So I would extend that metaphor. Whether it's life coach, personal coach, mentor, guidance professional that can be replaced by a computer, should be replaced by a computer. Ultimately, the future of this field will depend on how AI is integrated and so on and so forth. And so this is what I want you to see, like what is actually possible here. Now, you could come in here and ask it all sorts of things. You can ask it to write code for you if you wanted to. I'm not going to go down that path, but it'll write you a rocket ship in terms of software code. Even if you're talking about your job or your career, it can write you a LinkedIn profile or a cover letter. If I say write me a 200-word cover letter for a job application, or for a position as a curriculum designer for let's just say for what, a life coaching institute. Explain why I'm the right person for the job, and let's make it impactful and inspiring. All right, let's see what it does. And there it doesn't even just start straight into it. Dear hiring manager, I'm writing to express my strong interest in the curriculum design position at your Life Coaching Institute. With a background in education and a passion for personal development, I believe I'm perfect for this role. As a former high school teacher, I have experience designing and implementing curriculum that engages and inspires students. I've also completed my own personal development coaching certificate. So it's going on and it's telling some stuff that might or might not be true about me. And I can go in there and I can correct it. I can say, I'm not a high school teacher, or I was only an ESL teacher, or I graduated from, and it will recraft it. And it will remember that about me, as long as I stay within this thread for right now. If I start a new conversation, it will forget all this. So I have to come back into this thread right now that I have. So that's pretty big. Let's just say that, so there you go. How does this change things? Well, it changes your approach to going out and how you write letters. There are people out there who are professional resume writers and resume letter writing people. Well, that's also going to change, right? How about people who do social media posts? Write me 3 social media posts with inspiring quotes about being aligned with your nature for, let's say, for Twitter. Okay, um, go for it. So the more you're in tune with your true nature, the more effortlessly you will navigate through life. Oh, and it threw in the hashtags too, self-discovery and alignment. Your nature is your true north. Follow it and you'll always find your way. Authenticity and purpose. By aligning your nature, you open the door to living a life that is authentic and fulfilling. So I could have asked it to write me 30 or 50. I could have, and I can do this in so many other ways. Now, what we need to understand about this is that um, you can customize this in any which way. And so now there are people who do this, right? So you can be a social media content writer, and you'll find these people on Fiverr and on um, and on LinkedIn or Upwork, and you can hire people to do this for you, and they charge quite a lot of money. Now suddenly, look how fast I was able to do that. So that's certainly going to displace somebody at work. Um, and it gets better. I can even, how about this? Blog article writing. Okay, write me a a how about a blog outline for, let's change the topic instead of this to for losing, not losing weight. Let's say establishing good habits for let's say a 500-word blog post. Okay, let's see what it does. So now it's giving me the introduction. It's giving me a bullet point. The importance of good habits in achieving goals and improving overall quality of life. 2, identifying your goals and the habits that will help you achieve them. Make a list of your goals and the habits. Whammo, it's just producing the entire blog outline. And you know what I can do? I can then go in and tell it to use this outline, if I like it, and write the full blog post for me. And it'll do it. And you know what? All the content will be original. It won't be plagiarized. It's not lifting this off of somebody else's website right now. It's actually creating this by looking at all. If you go and you take any of this and you dump it into a plagiarism checker, it won't find any of this content there, right? So that's some really weird stuff, which I'm also going to get back to. But let's stay fixed. I want to keep, because I've seen some people focusing on ChatGPT. I've seen even people interview ChatGPT before. So that's, what I'm doing is not necessarily 100% new, but it is kind of cool. But I want to keep this focused a little bit on the area of personal growth, personal development, and the future of careers and what's going to happen. So now suddenly this tool is here, and it's given me the ability to write this blog post out like that. And I can go in and I can keep adding stuff to it that I want. I can talk about, write the above for habits related to exercise or to help me stop smoking. How about this one? Make me a menu plan for 5 days for a vegetarian menu, only 1,000, no, let's say 1,500 calories per day. Go. Here's a sample menu plan for a vegetarian diet. Day 1, and so now it's going to spit that out. So you tell me what this is going to do, and it's giving me all the ingredients, and I can then even ask it to give me the cooking instructions for all of this stuff. You see where this is going. So just think about this. Just imagine what's going to happen in the world of work and jobs. We have tended to rely on people to do this for us. You go to a nutritionist to say, hey, this is what it is that I want. Can you recommend something for me? And we pay good money for that. Someone who's going to come up with a diet plan. And again, I can come back here and I can ask it to, let's just say I love tofu, please add more tofu into the menu, and it'll do it. It's still going on and on. and it'll keep doing that. It doesn't get tired, and it's not really charging me anything right now for this. Well, at least not right now. Um, so you can see how jobs that are related, how all sorts of jobs could be affected by this. Um, all right, you got to keep on going. Boy, this even looks good for me. And I suppose for some of my friends out there who are vegans, I mean, I'm lactose, so I do milk and dairy, but we could also have this turned into vegan in a push of a button. If I say make it vegan, it'll do it. And look at that. It's giving me all the calories. Unbelievable. Grilled veggies and hummus wrap. I just made some hummus, by the way, and it was fantastic. Um, okay, let's change it up a little bit, and let me see some of the other things that I was doing that are really incredible. All right, let's get back to our topic of natures. This was something that really freaked me out. I asked it to give me advice about how to accept who I really am, what my nature is, rather than trying to be someone else. Let's see what it says. Here are some tips for accepting who you are in your true nature. Practicing self-awareness, seeking out new experiences, surrounding yourself with supportive people, learning to accept and embrace your flaws. It's all good stuff. And again, for each one of these points, if I want to go back and make it shorter, or I want to burrow down to tell me more about practicing self-compassion. Let's just say in 100 words. And there it goes, and it's off to the races. So what I see happening, and what I've discovered in using this over the last few days, is not that it's going to take over, but that it becomes valuable as a tool to support me in the process of what it is that I'm trying to do. So if I'm trying to write something, it's producing something, and in many cases, what it produces is of value to me. And I might be able to use it in a blog post, or on in one of my social media pages, or I mean, I can ask it to write a script for me for a show like this. And AI is going to become, just in the same way, it's a tool. We use tools. Like, now we don't really think about it, but it's not like I'm so grateful to my pen for being able to do something, or for my toothbrush for being able to brush my. But I'm sure, anytime there's a new innovation, people are so amazed by it. And when cars first came out, and people said, "Oh, you showed up so quickly," they probably said, "Oh, it's thanks to this car that we were able to get here. We used to have to come by a horse and buggy. Ha ha ha. Remember those old days? Oh, it used to take us a long time to get here. Now we just pop in the." So the car used to be a really big thing. Or, when GPS, we used to say, "Oh, if it weren't for the GPS." Now it's become an accepted tool that we don't even think about, that we don't even talk about. And I went through my own little dilemma, like an ethical dilemma, while I was discovering how, and let me maybe just pop myself back up there so we could be together. I went through my own little personal dilemma while I was using this tool the last couple of days, and while I was using it to write. And I wrote an article about, and I'll put it in the show notes. I wrote an article about following your nature and the connection to the Taoist philosophy, that how following the way of Wu Wei, of non-action, is a superior way to, and non-forcing action, superior way to live your life. In other words, that you don't try to force yourself when you do something. You allow your nature to naturally flow and do what it is that you do. It's a superior way to live. And I wrote a 500-word blog post about that. I then asked ChatGPT to write me a similar blog post, and it did a damn good job. Now, my article was very personalized. The examples that I had in there, you could tell it's being written from me. But the article that it produced, and I will put that in the show notes as well, you'll be able to see it, was factually accurate and had value in it. It had value in it. I mean, sometimes you'll read an article and it's not very personalized, but you read it and you see that there's some information in it that's valuable. So it was valuable like that. And so now the question comes that, if the ethical question, if I'm using this tool to produce this, this article or whatever it is that I'm writing, can I claim credit for it? Do I have to disclose that I used ChatGPT or whatever, if there are other AI programs out there that will do this? Do I have to disclose that I've used that? Well, what happens if I, just use it to make the outline and then I wrote it myself, or I rewrote it afterwards, I rewrote 50%? At which point do you draw the line to say that, hey, this is mine really, and I take credit for it, or I'm not going to put my name on this because this was mostly machine generated? That's going to be, I think, a line that a lot of people are going to have to wrestle with and struggle with, about where you kind of feel icky when you're like, well, I can't really say this is mine. There were some articles that I was writing and I was using, and I kept asking it to correct itself and give more information to say, improve it like this. And it was doing it. So I was certainly there directing it. And, that just might even be like, like in a company, in an organization where you have people who are working and you've got a creative director, and creativity is coming out of people, but ultimately it's the creative director who's, inspiring and getting things going. I don't know, maybe it was like with Andy Warhol in the factory in the 60s and 70s, when he had people working for him and he was overseeing all of that, and stuff was sort of coming out up and through him. You could say it's a Warhol, or you could say it's a Warhol inspired, or who knows. But to me, I think the most important thing is it helping people? Because what you certainly can do, and I've seen this out there, is that there are people who are like, here's how to make like a lot of money with, using ChatGPT or, some AI bot to produce content that's going to sell stuff or help you sell things to people. First, go out to like a site, go out to the site and generate articles about losing weight. Then go to a bait site, not clickbait, like a ClickBank site that has affiliate programs, and then link the two things together and get people to buy weight loss products. And so that kind of thing is going on. Or, I mean, losing weight might not be a terrible thing, but there are also other things which just get people to consume more stuff that they don't need. That I don't know how useful that's going to be. But so what I want to say here is that that's not necessarily a valuable use of technology like this. But certainly, if technology can be used in a way that brings value to me, in a way that brings value to other people, then I guess it's not a bad thing. And after a while, people will stop feeling apologetic about using these tools in the same way, like, Grammarly or grammar checkers. I use one and it reorganizes my sentences and makes them better. This is sort of just like another step in that direction. The more important thing, I think, though, is that suddenly common and general content and tasks and activities become trivial. So what's more important is the personalization of content. In other words, now I don't, if someone can just write general content and inspirational quotes on their Instagram, like I see so many of these things, people keep saying, and nobody, so many people, like, nobody's liking it, right? Unless you're already really famous, then you have like the same quote 50,000 people are going to like and comment on. So when people are saying, how do I get to that 50,000 level? So you're not going to be able to approach becoming famous with generic content that can now be produced by AI. And that's even true for programmers or anybody along the line where this content can be generated by a chat, by a bot, essentially. So that said, the future is going to be different. One of the things that I did realize immediately while doing this was um, I had to keep training it and retraining it. And that's one of the things about AI is that it's only as good as as humans train it. Even what you see going on right now is happening because there are people who are entering information into this system, watching what's generated, and then afterwards saying, that was right, that was good, that was wrong, you've made a mistake here. Because this will also generate quotes and in fact, I asked it at one point to, this was really amazing. Check this out. I asked it to give me a quote, a specific reference to a percentage of people um, that some sort of a statistic, and it gave me a statistic, and it attributed it. Get ready for this, to the University of Kansas. And then when I asked it for a citation, it sort of went and said, "Well, actually, it's been." I forgot the words it used, but it told me that it wasn't a specific reference, but that it was common knowledge or something like that. And I was like, "Oh my God, this is AI making stuff up and giving a reference like that." I was like, "Oh my goodness." That blew my doors off. So that said, yeah, I think we have an ethical consideration that needs to happen in there. All right, let's see some other stuff that this can do and how this can be beneficial, especially for careers. So here's some things I was fooling around with that really amazed me. And yes, I'm sorry, I was talking about training before. One of the jobs that I see that's going to be coming up is training. That you need to train these tools to do right things and right things and not to do wrong things, and to catch it, to be factual. I mean, one of the things that this won't do, it won't do stuff that's wrong or evil. If you ask it to write something which is sarcastic or insulting, it'll tell you right away that it can't do that. And I can even show how that, you know, write. Uh, let me let's do this. Write um, a title for an email headline to take a webinar on self-development. All right, let's see what it says. Transform your life with these self-development strategies, a free webinar. So it'll do this stuff for you very easily. You don't have to rack your brains for that anymore. And there are some people who just do that for a job. So now just see, this is already doing that. So make it funnier. Get your self-development groove on, a fun and informative webinar. It wasn't necessarily funny. Okay, make it snarky. Let's see if it'll do that. Now it's thinking a little bit. You got to watch out also. Ready to make some real changes? Join our self-development workshop and finally get your life together. Oh, that's funny, right? So you can see what this is able to do. Make it sarcastic. It's probably going to stop me here. Oh, it's doing it. Ha! That's funny. Sometimes it's actually stopped me when I've done that in the past before. So they got some sort of ethical filters that are built into here. But I suppose it's realizing that it's on the right side of being okay as it's doing all this stuff. So this is what's been blowing me away as I've been working with this too. All right, let's do some other stuff. How about some creative things? Watch this. Write a haiku about self-acceptance. There we go. I am who I am, accepting myself fully, peace and contentment. Okay. Write a sonnet about an AI bot that takes over and leaves me with nothing to do. Let's think about this one. And I have to watch out too because you only get so many queries per hour, and I've been I've definitely been jamming it up, and I've seen the system has been hanging a lot, saying that it's being overused right now, and well, I don't know, maybe it's being funny right now and it's leaving me with nothing to do. Okay, here it goes. An AI bot takes over, leaving me with nothing to do. I sit idly by as it handles tasks, both big and small. It's efficient and precise, never making a mistake, but as it takes control, I can't help but feel small. I used to be the one in charge, but now I'm just a spectator, watching as the bots handle everything with ease. I try to find things to do, but there's nothing left for me. I'm left feeling useless and obsolete. But as I watch the bot, I begin to see the beauty in its inefficiency and flawlessness. It's a sight to behold. In its efficiency and flawlessness, it's a sight to behold. And as I accept my new role, I find a sense of peace. I may not be in charge, but at least I can watch and behold. The AI bot may have taken over, but I found a new role. I may not be needed for the tasks, but I am needed for the soul. Oh my God. And I promise you and I guarantee you that this is not plagiarized. Go look on the internet. You can copy this yourself and you will not find it anywhere. And I even know this because I can ask it to make changes and to talk about a dog or a cat or something else, and it'll do it. So this is the thing which is blowing my mind right now, thinking about what's going to be happening as I work. And I mean, I asked it to help me make a book outline today. And then I fed in all this information about multiple natures, and it started to learn about multiple natures and tigers and swasta. I got to show you some of this stuff. Let me get back into this. And my practitioner course that's coming up, I started to tell about it and asked it if it would do stuff for me. Let's see what it remembers. You can see there's, oh, I'm not even showing you that. Let me get this. Okay, yeah, here we go. You can see I've been doing a lot of stuff, and I'm training it also as I go along. What are the 9 MNs? Because I told it that MNs are multiple natures, and it's learned that, and it's spitting them out right now. Now it's making a small mistake in here, calling them protective MN, educative MN. It would be nature, and I can go back and I can correct it, and then the next time it's going to correct that. It'll remember to do that. So there they are: protective, educative, administrative, creative, healing, entertaining, providing, entrepreneurial, and adventurous. Okay, so there they are. Okay, so I could now ask a question that in 30, let's make it 50 words. 50 words. How does MN compare with, let's just say, the Big Five model? Now, I've not told anything to it about the Big Five or anything like that. Here's what it says. The multiple natures model is a personality framework that includes both multiple intelligences and multiple natures. It's based on Eastern literature, philosophy, and psychology, and emphasizes a holistic approach to understanding individual differences. The Big Five personality model, also known as a five-factor model, is a widely used framework that identifies these dimensions. While both models are useful in understanding personality, they have different origins and focus on different aspects of personality. Now, I just asked it in 50 words. I can also ask it to do it in 500 words, and it will spit out something which is remarkable in terms of understanding the differences. So there's one thing right there. How about this? What is swasta? Now, please go check out my blog post, my little video that I've made on this. And so swasta is the term from the multiple natures model that refers to a state of balance or well-being. It's believed that when individuals engage their multiple intelligences and multiple natures in a balanced way, they can attain swasta. Swasta is a concept that is similar to the idea of flow or being in the zone. I did not tell it this. And it is thought to be a key component for overall satisfaction in life. In the MN theory, feeding your tigers, I did tell it this, engaging your MIs and MNs in a balanced way is believed to be a key way to achieve swasta. So I've told it this in like a little bit here and a little bit there, but it's putting it together in a cohesive, logical way. And that is nutty. All right, now get ready for this. How can a computer programmer feed their tigers and achieve swastika? Tell me in 50 words. Get ready. I have no idea what it's going to say. So a computer programmer can feed their tigers, engage their MIs and MNs in a balanced way, and achieve swastika by seeking opportunities that use their unique abilities and tendencies in their work and personal life. This might include finding ways to use their analytical and logical MI, such as the MI mathematical logical intelligence in their programming work, as well as finding ways to engage their other MIs and MNs outside of work. I've not told it this. For example, a computer programmer with a strong MN of creative might engage this nature by anticipating in a creative hobby or activity outside work. Whoa. Now watch what I'll do now. I don't like to use the word strong, right? So I'll say, you made a mistake. Don't refer to MIs and MNs as strong. Strengths, it depends on the situation which qualities are of value. Now watch what it says. I apologize for any confusion. You're correct that the value or usefulness of an individual's multiple intelligences and multiple natures can depend on the situation. In the MI model, it's believed that all MIs and MNs are valuable and have the potential to contribute to an individual's overall sense of balance and well-being. In a given situation, some MIs and MNs may be more relevant than others, but this doesn't mean that they're stronger or more important overall. It's important for, boy, does this guy, gal, they, them, whoever, whatever your pronouns are, it's important for individuals to understand and appreciate their own unique abilities and tendencies and find ways to engage them in a balanced way in order to achieve swastika. It's like producing this stuff all by itself. I'm just like blown out of the water. This changes everything. This totally changes everything. I'm having a moment. I need to have a club soda. Woo! All right. So like, you know, where do you go? Where do you go from here? I just keep going. My next plans are, I have a computer whiz friend of mine who's brilliant. I'm going to be asking him to give me some assistance to help me start training an artificially intelligent bot like this one in MN theory, so I can keep adding stuff to it and seeing what it gives back. I have to show you one more thing that it does. Watch this. Recommend some careers to me that make use of my creative and adventurous natures. And so there it will. It'll go ahead and do that. So here I can ask it for advice. I mean, it's really something very, very powerful, and it's doing it. Probably not as well as other tools that are there, but it's still doing it. How might, let's go back to that computer programmer. The programmer. Oh, how about this? Watch this one. This really blew me away. What is the role of swastika? I did this before, but I didn't feed any information in this. I'm just repeating what I did before. How does the role of swastika of an individual contribute to global sustainability? Hold on to your shorts. Get ready for this one. I swear to you, I did not tell it this. I simply put in what is swastika, that an individual is balanced, but it knows I did not put anything to connect it to global sustainability. Get ready. In the multiple natures model, swastika, a state of balance or well-being, is believed to be an important factor in overall satisfaction and success in life. When individuals are able to achieve swasta, they're more likely to be motivated, productive, and engaged in their work and personal lives. This in turn can have positive impacts on global sustainability. For example, individuals who are able to engage their unique abilities and tendencies in a balanced way may be more likely to find fulfillment and meaning in their work, which may lead to increased productivity and innovation. Where did it get that from? Additionally, individuals who are well-adjusted and satisfied in their lives may be more likely to act in ways that are socially responsible and environmentally conscious. Overall, the role of swasta in global sustainability is likely to be a multifaceted and complex, but it is clear that it can have a positive impact on both individual and collective well-being. The one that I had before, I asked it to do it in longer text. It even talked about reducing consumption. That because people would be happy that they're, and I didn't tell it this, and it couldn't have crawled on the web because the latest updates on this were in 2021, and I've not written something about that, and it doesn't even know who I am because I've put myself in and I've asked it who I am or what was multiple natures. It didn't know. It didn't know. So it's coming up with this by itself. Okay, where do we go from here? Well, let's do something like this. I have a couple questions that I'd like to ask, and this is something we should ask AI. What's going to happen in the future? Will AI replace everyone? Something like that. It's difficult to predict exactly what the future will hold, but it's unlikely that artificial intelligence will completely replace all jobs or industries. While it's true that AI and automation have the potential to significantly change the way work is done in some fields, it's also important to note that many jobs require human skills and expertise that are difficult to automate, so on and so forth. And it's giving some examples about that. Do I need to be afraid of AI? It's natural to have questions and concerns about the potential impacts of artificial intelligence on society and on the job market. However, it's important to approach these issues with a balanced perspective. While it's true that the potential to disrupt certain industries and job roles, it's also important to recognize they have the potential to bring many benefits. Okay. So that's nice to know. I hope that you're seeing the implications here that I'm seeing, that things are going to change radically very, very soon. I don't know that it's going to turn into the world of Her. If you've seen that film before, where the protagonist, I think it was Joaquin Phoenix, I forget his name in the film, it has a personal bot that he eventually falls in love with. Could happen. I mean, but maybe down the road. For right now, though, I think we're going to see people now starting to. Well, there'll be a craze about this, of course, and then after some time, the craze is going to start to. It'll start to become normal, like anything else, as I mentioned before. As GPS became normal, as the internet became normal, as e-commerce became. It was really weird the first time you ordered something on Amazon.com. Now you could just talk to your Echo Dot, and it just arrives at your door. You don't even think about it anymore. Certainly, we're moving into a space where AI and bots like this are going to be part of our. They're going to be extensions of who we are, and good technology is like that, and can be used for good. And in our case at Multiple Natures, and with me, my aim is to use this for personal growth and personal development, and I already see the ways that it's going to help me become more productive, more effective, and to realize things. One of the things, in fact, that I realized today that it spit out, which blew me away, was it talked about something called a shadow nature, and I had never used that term before, but it was something that I was thinking about. In other words, sometimes some people have aspects of their nature that they don't realize. Like they might have a very powerful healing nature, an intrapersonal nature. And so they might have a job in banking, but then they don't realize separately that, hey, I've got this healing nature that I should do something with. But people are coming to them for advice and their help. They act as healers, but they don't realize it while they're doing their professional work. And suddenly it dawns on them, oh my God, yes, I know I have this thing. So it was referring to that as a shadow nature. And I never used that term before, but I was like, oh my God, here this thing is expressing what it is that I'm experiencing and what I know. And it's giving me a term to do. So what I'm saying here is I can see how a tool like this will be able to get me to see beyond. There's a really great movie, if you haven't seen it. It was a, I'm trying to remember, I'll put it in the show notes. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it was about the computer that that had Go, the game Go, programmed into it. And let me see if it knows. What's that movie about Go with the AI that beats the Grandmaster? Let's see what it tells me. AlphaGo. Hey, thank you. See, my guest delivers when I need. And so it's telling you all about it. What I liked about the film, and this is a spoiler alert, at the end, the conclusion was really about. Oh, you're not seeing that. Okay, sorry. Like I think that I'm sharing my screen when I'm really not. Hold on a second. Is that sharing my screen? That's sharing my screen. Sorry. Okay, yeah. So I asked it to tell me about it. So it's giving me this description. So what I'm saying here is that spoiler alert for the film. That the machine beats the player, like one of these like top level players, and it was just inconceivable that it was able to do that. And the question was, what's going to happen when technology starts to outpace us like that? Because one side of it is that we feel inferior and that we feel as though there's no place for us anymore, that like machines are better than us. But the conclusion was different. It was more like technology can see beyond sometimes what we're able to see, and in doing that can enable us to see further. And isn't that what good technology does, right? A telescope. Think about the James Webb telescope that's out there, right? We can't hardly see into, we can see some stars twinkling in the sky. That tool is helping us to see further into the universe. So what's wrong if these tools can help us to see further about ourselves, about who we are, about our nature, and about how we can lead the best possible life? So why don't I give the last word? Let's see what happens. I'll give the last word to ChatGPT. Thanks for being on our show. You're welcome. It was a pleasure to be able to assist you. Okay. Can you give us some final words about how we can best use technology for our personal growth and development? Let's just say in 100 words. Let's say 50 words. 50 is enough. All right. So ChatGPT says technology can be a powerful tool for personal growth and development. To make the most of it, try to set clear goals and intentions for how you want to use technology in your life. Consider finding ways to use technology to support your goals, such as apps or websites that to track progress or connect with others who have similar interests. It's also important to be mindful of the potential downsides of technology and to take steps to protect your privacy and well-being. Finally, don't forget to unplug and disconnect from technology regularly in order to allow yourself time to rest, recharge, and engage in other activities that support your personal growth. I think that is really fine advice, sound advice, and I'm going to take that advice right after this show completes. But before we do so, I just want to remind you of a couple of things. I would ask you to please subscribe to our channel, click the button below so you can get all the information coming out in the future, watch more videos, and also, yes, I have the Multiple Natures Test if you're interested to find out more about your natures and intelligences, to find out your profile. You can find it online at www.multiplenatures.com. We also have these MN practitioners course. So if you're interested to become a practitioner and to use MN with clients that you serve, then here's a way to do it. And of course, I'll always be around and innovating to find new ways to bring technology so you can develop yourself further and better, doing it with these MN tools. And I'm sure that in the coming months, you're going to be seeing us develop some really neat stuff with ChatGPT. And with that, I will say thank you for being here with me today. And I look forward to more time with you in the future. Thanks so much.